Adults of Reddit, what is something every teenager needs to know? You aren't nearly as smart or worldly as you think you are. Every teenager, without fail, thinks they know it all, or have seen or done a lot. I know this, because I used to be one. I'm 29 now, and let me tell you the wealth of knowledge I have compared to a year ago alone is staggering. Compared to when I was 19 or 16. Doesn't even freaking compare. My advice around this is to just stay humble. You aren't done learning, and you really ain't seen nothing yet. Don't ever think you know it all, or you've seen and done it all, because you haven't even scratched the absolute edge of the surface of what you don't know. And for the love of punch drunk freak, don't learn about sex from porn. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to know everything. Hell, it's more important to know enough about what you don't know, so you don't say something embarrassing or stupid and you can try to sway the conversation or argument toward what you do know. Fake it till you make it. Always keep your eyes and ears open. Learn lots of little useless facts. They can make you sound extra smart without any effort. Sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut and your ears open. Don't dig in. If a conversation isn't going your way, lay back. Shut the hell up. To quote Mark Twain, it's better for a person to think you're an idiot, even if you haven't said anything, than it is for you to open your mouth and prove them right. Oh, and never take the brown acid. And most importantly kids, we'll quote the late, great Timothy Leary, think for yourself and question everything. Very late to this thread, but remember that sometimes even well-meaning advice from very wise people can be out of date. When I was a teen, conventional wisdom was to buy a house instead of rent as soon as you could and buy all the house you can afford. And this was because for my parents, my grandparents, for most people in the country, for as long as anybody could remember, home values almost always went up over time, especially in the long run. It would be the biggest transaction you'd ever make and probably your best investment, and it was only going to get more expensive. And then there was a housing crash. And the housing market got freaky. And guess who wound up moving and taking a mid-5-figure loss on a lovely house when he moved out of state? This guy right here. On the plus side, a nice young family got a lovely 1,800 square foot home in a nice, safe neighborhood for a very reasonable price. There will be changes in the RL meter. The advice you get about careers, finances, etc. might wind up invalid as the world changes. Appreciate what you have, especially if you don't have much. There might come a time when your mattress on the floor and the clothes on your back are the only things you have, and you might not care at the moment, but they are still yours. Appreciate them. Appreciate good times, days with nice weather. Try to get as much joy as you can from those things, because if you don't, you won't get any from elsewhere and no one can give it to you. Later you might look back and regret spending years of your life bitterly, emotionally fixated on negative things, wasting your time with reading too much news, or focusing on that won't take you forward in life. Absolutely do not follow your passion when it comes to a career. Get started in something that sounds alright. Get good at it. Then you may find you actually enjoy it, because you're good at. And then you'll find an adjacent job that you like better. Do not be afraid to job hop. Studies show that people who switch careers more frequently are happier in the long term. Plus, having a diverse work history makes you more well-rounded and better at solving problems than someone who specialized in one role their entire life. You'd have a slower start, but then would outpace and outperform the specialist later. Take care of your body. Around 25 you're going to start feeling negative things happening to your body. Some of these things will be permanent. Once you get arthritis, it ain't going away. Once you have diabetes, it ain't going away. That entire case of Mountain Dew you drank will come back and bite you hard. Also if you can stop drinking soda entirely now, you won't gain all that weight when your metabolism starts slowing down. I hate myself and my choices I made surrounding my own body. Thank God I realized it when I no longer had the energy to do anything about it. If you don't have a passion, learn new skills. You might find your passion or something you're good at. While you shouldn't believe those who say these gonna be the best years of your life, try to make the most of it, to enjoy the ride. Don't be ashamed of your hobbies and passions. Those who make fun of that can go freak themselves. Every feeling you have deserves to be expressed in any constructive manner. Don't fear rejection from those you like/love. Tell them and come what may. The person you love at the 17th of May not be the person you love at 30. You change. They change. If you change together and are still on the same path, that's great. But allow yourselves to change. Allow them to change and reassess whether you're simply together for loyalty or because you still really want a future together with who you both are now. Basically, be willing to let love go. It doesn't mean you didn't love them. You both changed, and it happens, and it's kinda sad, but will just open you up to be yourself. How to de-escalate difficult situations. And how to disagree with a teacher/someone in authority without sounding like a know-it-all or in a condescending manner. For example, if a teacher says X and you are certain you learn differently, recognize that there may be certain circumstances that you may not realize that changes something. Lead the disagreement with a saying like, "Excuse me, I may be wrong, but I thought/learned why." This kind of phrasing does not cause the other person to be on the defensive, which can allow gentle new instruction for you, or a graceful/face-saving correction for the teacher. A situation with differing opinions doesn't have to be confrontational. Hold yourself to your own standards. If you wouldn't let anyone treat your friends/family like trash, then don't do it yourself. If you feel learning is a positive thing, then learn on the daily. If you value work and security, then give yourself security through work. If you expect others to be intelligent and to care, then you should be intelligent and caring. Hold yourself accountable for how you want the world to be. Be a part of the world you want to live in. If you are assaulted on campus, notify the police, not campus security. To add to this, if you're experiencing harassment, bullying, or anything that isn't technically a matter for the police, don't stop reporting it to the school until somebody actually listens to you. The first person you talk to at the school may blow you off. Go to the next person up or another department. If they say there's nothing they can do, get them to put it in writing. People are often much more inclined to help if their actions, or lack thereof, are being recorded. The measure of whether someone has the potential to be a new friend of yours is not whether they like a bunch of things you like. It is entirely possible to become friends with people who like a ton of things you've never heard of, or even already decided you dislike. You are at a spot in life where a lot of your likes and dislikes are subject to change anyway. Biggest thing, making a new friend often takes time. Lots of time. Much longer than movies and shows make it look like. Find things to do, groups to join, city league sports to play, pandemic permitting, or after, and keep learning about the people you see repeatedly. Far too many early 20s people who report having no friends made a premature judgment that one or more prospective friends were off the list when it just needed a lot more time. Honestly, your teens are the perfect time to begin small on creating good habits that pay off in the long run. Save and or invest 10% of any money you receive. Create a habit of exercising, even just small exercises, every day. Someone else said it, but it is worth repeating. Brush your teeth. Figure out what you enjoy. Read and try a lot of different things. Go to camps, or shadow any jobs you think you might be interested in. Sometimes the job you think you'd enjoy, you find out you have no interest in at all. This will save you a lot of money, like studying pre-med and learning you hate healthcare. This is a difficult one as a teen, but try to establish a decent sleeping habit. Preferably one where you wake up early. I feel like I slept my teen years away. This is going to sound cliche, but just be yourself. Having friends is important, but don't act like them just to fit in. You may not entirely know who you are yet, and by not being yourself, you're going to lose your true self in the mix. If you're lucky, it'll take many years and a lot of soul searching to even bring back your uniqueness, and then clump that all together to learn who you truly are. I made this mistake. I'm 37 now. It took me 20 years to undo everything, because in college and afterwards, I was a chameleon changing my personality with each group of friends I was with. I had no idea who I was. It took a lot of work on my self-esteem to recorrect my thought process. Edit. High school is really tough. As hard as it might be, try not to feed a bully with more ammo. Ignore the person and they'll get bored and move on. Also, try to enjoy life, responsibly of course. You can have some great, fun, and happy years as a teenager. Figure out what activities you love most to do and do them. Hang out with positive people. Put yourself first. You're going to get hurt, but the feelings will pass, I promise. These are all things I didn't do as a teenager. I had a traumatic childhood and its effects really started to hit me as a teenager. It led to miserable years when it could have been so much different. There are things you can get away with when you're legally underage that you can't as an adult. I'm just saying. Take care of your body. Be active. Brush your teeth. Have a good sleep routine. Talk about your problems. Learn to experience and express your emotions in healthy ways. Do your homework. It's not about proving you can do some rote, boring s. It's about forming a good study habit. Even if you don't go to college or university, learning how to learn will help you immensely. Learn about finances, taxes, bills, and insurance early. Get your parents to involve you in the mundane adult stuff so you aren't caught unawares when reality hits you. Learn the skills that were commonplace for older generations, such as cursive, Latin, and geography, and FFS. Learn to navigate without GPS. Learn to read the room. At some point, possibly into adulthood, read books on regular etiquette and Robert's Rules of Order, which governs/establishes guiding principles/etiquette for everything from business meetings to congressional hearings. You'll understand why older people have such weird expectations. If you aren't ready to accept responsibility for something, don't tangle with it. If you can't raise a kid right now, be choosy about your partners. Do you really want to be stuck with this person in your life? Co-parenting with someone manipulative is absolute torture, and be extremely careful when you do have sex. Pregnancy isn't the only worry here. Likewise, you may want to move out, but honestly it's best to stay home and save your money as long as you can. Most rents cost about twice as much as a mortgage in the same area/neighborhood. The difference maker is whether you have the capital to put down and the credit for a reasonable interest rate. Build your credit to get a better rate.